Hey everyone, Stacks here, checking out Guardians of the Galaxy number 12, Donny Cates' last book for this run. And you have Corey Smith on pencils and David Ariel on colors here. If you're not caught up on the series, I highly recommend going and checking out my playlist I have for this. I've been covering this since issue 1, and it's really been a good run, and it all ties up really nice here in this issue. Back in issue 11, Rocket made his grandiose entrance by crashing his ship straight into the side of the Universal Church of Truth ship, and you had Moondragon, him, the Magus, this younger version of the Magus, and Groot all try to rescue basically the entire Marvel cosmic universe. However, it came to the point where just numbers just overwhelmed Magus and this group, and eventually it got to the point where they were losing. Rocket stepped up and did everything he could, but Beta Ray Bill put Stormbreaker right through the Gundam that he was using. And unfortunately for Rocket, this Gundam suit was also serving as his life support system, and he cannot survive now in his current condition outside of it. Fortunately, the little mini Groots that have been running around this whole run, they came and they got Rocket out of the suit. Now he's still dying, but you can't keep a good raccoon down. And he just dragging his rifle down the hallway is making one last run to save his friends. And so the whole point that the Universal Church of Truth, or their whole plan, is that they've resurrected a huge number of Drax the Destroyers. They're going to take these into the future. The only problem is they have to have enough life energy to power their drives to travel back into the future. And they're using the current year heroes to power that drive. They're also going to Earth, and they're going to take the population of Earth and use those to power the drive. And that will allow them to take these Draxes forward into time and kill death, basically. And right in the middle of Jason's great speech about how they've finally done it, how they're going to go and they're going to save the future from this grotesque march of war that death has besought upon them, right as he's about to wrap this up with his famous "because we have faith," suddenly the power goes out. Well, when Jason hits the security cameras, what he happens to see is Rocket, and Rocket is doing some work on the bridge, and Jason is obviously upset. He was already told that Rocket was dead, so that's enough. But he makes it clear that everyone needs to get down there now. I will not be bested by a raccoon. And right about that time is when Rocket takes over the comms for the whole station and says, "Hey there, Chief. This is Rocket. We met earlier when I drove a spaceship through your spaceship. Yeah, I'm taking control of your comms because I'm tired of hearing your nutty voice, okay? But hey, I got some good news for you. You're not losing to a raccoon. You're losing to an engineer." And as he says this, he has Drax the Destroyer clones coming from both sides, but he managed to couple together whatever this is that he's working on. And when he does, the glass that contains all these other heroes completely shatters, and it's suddenly just raining cosmic heroes all around. But Rocket, he just collapses. He's done. He's exhausted. And Jason's freaking out, saying, "What is happening?" And his henchman just tells him that Rocket somehow reversed the polarity of the engines, and he's taken over the entire targeting system as well. Well, what the target system is doing, it's now targeting these Drax the Destroyers, and it's targeting all these clones as well. All his minions are getting scooped up instead of the heroes. As everybody's recovering, Peter Quill quickly yells over to Rocket and asks him if he's okay, and Rocket tells him, "Look, you guys should probably get out of here. I set this ship to jump back to its original timeline in a few minutes, so..." And right as he's saying that, one of these Drax the Destroyers picks up Raccoon and holds him up into these purple tentacle mist things that basically suck the will to live out of you. And he holds him down. Peter's yelling no, but he looks him in the eye and says, "Don't you feel it coursing through you? Just give in. Give us your will to live and let go. And have faith, little..." And Rocket just turns around and spits right in his face and tells him, "Have that." And this version of Drax just wipes off his face and says, "How are you fighting this? You should be dead." And he said, "Yeah, well, my death don't belong to me. You want it? You're probably going to have to go through them." And he turns around and you have the Guardians there, Beta Ray Bill, everybody. I mean, just an all-star team of cosmic heroes coming right at this version of Drax. Now, as the group completely overwhelms this version of Drax, I mean, Beta Ray Bill hitting him in the stomach with Stormbreaker and Moondragon getting in his head and saying, look, you've been resurrected in my father's image. And what she actually does here is she actually puts Drax back together, basically. The original Drax the Destroyer's mind into this version of Drax the Destroyer. And I don't quite understand how she did that, but she does. And I'm good with it. I'll talk about it a little bit more at the end. One of the other things that happens here is that Groot manages to catch Rocket as he's falling, and he actually transforms into this giant Groot mech suit for Rocket. And it's pretty cool looking. You got Rocket sitting there basically in the pilot seat of Groot with all these guns everywhere, and Drax is on the ground now, looks up at him and says, Rocket, and he just starts laughing. He says, you look so stupid. But it's getting to the point where the ship's about to jump and everybody's in evac mode, and Jason starts yelling at his son, telling him, Peter, please don't leave us like this. If we return to our time without the Destroyer, we will all die. The future will die. We will have nothing. And Peter just sneers, looks at him and says, no, you will have faith. And with that, Lockjaw jumps him out right as the church jumps into the future. And as the Universal Church of Truth arrives into the future, billions of years from now, according to the little blurb here, they're greeted by a voice that says, so you have returned. Your quest across time to kill me, to kill death, has failed. I admire your effort, I do. But try as you might, you see now that none may escape the inevitability of my purpose. Now and always, Thanos wins. And at that point right there, my jaw dropped, and I may have peed a little. I don't know. But I'm a huge Thanos fan, so for him to tie this back to Thanos wins, I thought was really cool. From there, we jump to a hospital where Rocket's being seen. He's getting treatment and everything, and it's looked like they've stabilized him, and they're going to be able to bring him back around. But you got everybody there in the waiting room waiting for him, which is pretty cool. And you got some tying up to do. Peter and Gamora kind of leveling things off and just ending in a good spot, you know what I mean? With everybody in there, Rocket actually looks up and asks, so what did I miss in this last year? And this is really cool because Donny Cates, Rocket's been, he was hiding out by himself. He had sequestered himself away and didn't realize, I guess, a lot of the stuff that was happening within the cosmic universe. So Donny Cates takes this opportunity and just hands these over to full-page spreads from these amazing artists that he's worked with on a lot of these books. You get these incredible shots from the Thanos Win storyline with the Cosmic Ghost Rider, the Fallen One, Silver Surfer showing up with Mjolnir, and I mean, the Galactus and Cosmic Ghost Rider team up. You get the a complete page from the Cosmic Ghost Rider Baby Thanos storyline where he went back in time to kill him, and everybody chasing him, including Thanos and Juggerduck and everybody, Old Man Cable, all that stuff. Which I have a complete playlist of this if you haven't checked out this storyline as well. And while this one here was actually had some goofy moments in it, it had some actually really, really emotional moments. So I highly recommend that Cosmic Ghost Rider run, checking that out. He had this from the Deaths of the Inhumans, which I did not read. I didn't check out that one, but the art in it looks incredible. And then finally, you have the Silver Surfer Black storyline featuring Silver Surfer, Galactus, Ego, and of course Null. And that I've got a playlist on that. If you hadn't checked that out, definitely go check that one out. All the ones I've checked out from Donny Cates so far have been spectacular, and I highly recommend checking out the playlist if you haven't. They kind of brush aside all this stuff and tell him, well, what's happened? He's like, nothing. But as everybody heads out, he asks the Guardians to stay behind for a second. And when he does, he tells them, like, look, I promise I'm going to get better. I'm going to get back on my feet because I'm going to be with you guys. I'm going to be by your side. We got a galaxy to guard. And Peter looks at him, tells him, look, buddy, the galaxy can wait. And that's it. That's the end of Donny Cates' run on Guardians of the Galaxy, which I believe was an absolute It was an absolutely stupendous run. I really enjoyed it. It really had some high points. It had a couple issues that were used as setup, and that's fine. You have to have those in a good storyline. But I absolutely love this 1 through 12. I don't recall an issue where I just cringed and wanted to jab my eyeballs out at all. I mean, this book hit the ground running after Infinity Wars. And you got to remember where the Guardians of the Galaxy were at post-Infinity Wars. Gamora had just tried to wipe out half the galaxy, or combine half the galaxy, however you want to look at it. But she was a criminal at that point. You had Rocket, who we find out through this series was sick. Drax was dead. So the Guardians were left in shambles. Peter was dealing with PTSD from Gamora killing him during the Infinity Wars. Luckily, Doctor Strange brought him back. But, I mean, I also did a series on Infinity Wars. You can go check that out. But I'm warning you, that was some early days for my YouTubing, and those videos are not as high a quality. It was me learning how to do this. So, but anyways, the point is, the Guardians of the Galaxy 12 issues ago were in a very bad spot, and Donny Cates managed to piece them back together. He did it in a meaningful way. It was exciting throughout. The first run with the possible return of Thanos was really good, with Hela trying to bring him back, and then going into this Faithless run where the Guardians were pushed to the limit. Al Ewing is taking over, and I don't know that I'm too interested in picking up another Al Ewing book. He did a really good job on the first 24 issues of Immortal Hulk, and it was a really good series. He'd really taken that and lifted it to a new level. It was rivaling, I think it actually outsold Batman at one point, which is a huge feat for any comic book, but he managed to, at issue 26, to throw in a bunch of politics and really drag the sales down. I have a buddy who's a shop owner, and he said about 60% of the people who had that on their pull list went ahead and dropped it after the direction he took the comic book, which is a shame. I've seen the cover for it. Of course, it's another #1, Guardians of the Galaxy #1. I think that's volume 6 or something for him now. But that's going to be, it's probably going to be a pass for me. It's got, I don't know. I don't know if I can bring myself to pick this one up as much as I've really liked the title the last year. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for this. Definitely go check out some of my playlists for this and Cosmic Ghost Rider. I'm actually going to do Revenge of the Cosmic Ghost Rider as soon as I get a little bit more time, and do the review for that #1 that just came out, and probably try to do a couple more. I got some extra time this week, it looks like, of course, with the Christmas break. So we'll see what happens, guys. I appreciate you watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, leave a like, and of course, leave a comment down below. Definitely leave a like if you liked my Rocket Raccoon New Jersey voice. All right, guys. I appreciate y'all. Have a good one. Real Comic Stacks out.